Hello everyone, welcome back to the Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. This is going to be a quick little video and show you how our garden's doing. So right here you can see our volunteer garden. It's all the stuff in there came up volunteer. This is where we put a lot of compost last year, a lot of watermelon rinds, pumpkins, cantaloupes, and all sorts of things, tomatoes, potatoes. So a little bit of everything's growing in there. It was doing pretty good until we had heat that was like around 108 for 3 days in a row, and really started taking its toll on everything. But I'll give you some close-up of the melons, and then we'll go over to the big garden and show you what's going on over there. So let's take a quick tour. So putting straw over these melons to keep the sun off of them. But there's a pretty good sized one right there. Another one right there. But you can see how the vines are turning yellow. I did put a little bit of triple 13 on here last night, a little bit of Epsom salt, and a little bit of lime. The tomatoes, that one looked like it had a tomato worm on it, but I never did find him. But the tomatoes aren't making any fruit, it's just too hot, and they're just getting burned up. There's one more big watermelon over here. Not big, but big for our standards. Right there. And then there's another little one that's formed, like right down in there. There's our Buff Orpingtons. They're still not laying. They ought to start laying any time now. Got us a metal can down here. Now we keep all of our feed down in here, so I don't have to carry it back and forth. Been feeding them a little bit of scratch. They also like cucumbers from the garden. So here's the bug detail. They're picking bugs off the sunflowers. Let's go in and take a look around. So we got two kinds of squash going here. Got butternut squash. There's quite a few in here. Spaghetti squash. And butternuts over here. So I was just corrected. That was spaghetti. This is butternut squash. So, spaghetti squash, butternut squash. But the squash is doing pretty good. Had a few, bunch of little black bugs on the bottoms of the leaves, but we gave them a treatment of pyrethrins, and they're all gone now. Sunflowers are doing great. Some bees on there. Got a bumblebee and a honeybee fighting it out. So those are a good 8 foot tall. Our two artichokes are pretty much artichoked. I don't think they're going to do anything. It's just too hot. We put up cow panels and let the cucumbers climb up on them. We've got quite a few cucumbers, and Barbara just made some bread and butter pickles today. And here's yellow squash down in here. We've got quite a few squash. Already have ate some squash off of those. And okra. And here's our corn. The corn took off and did pretty well, but I don't think we're going to have very good corn because the ears are really tiny. I don't know if they'll get bigger later or not, but they're pretty small right now. There's Sparky. We're babysitting Sparky. And there's Maggie. There's a flip-flop girl. So our tomatoes here in front of Carly, they are pretty much just burned up and dead. They are fried. This one here has a little bit of green left on it. A few little tomatoes. But these here have just croaked out. They are burned up. Here's the cantaloupe. Where's your cantaloupe? Show us your cantaloupe.
I've got bud guts on my fingers.
There's a little one right there.
Baby.
Show us the big one.
We have one started there, but the great big one is this one here.
So there's a big one hanging there.
And then this is the biggest one.
Here's the prize cantaloupe right here.
I just smashed a bug on him, so he's got a big.
Yeah. And some more yellow squash. And a nice iPhone growing right there on the ledge. And another thing of sunflowers. The zinnia's pretty much played out, but the alyssum's going good now. And this butterfly bush is climbing up nice. All the way up here. There's already some butterflies that have laid eggs, and there's caterpillars on there. Gulf flitterer, I think she said is what they are. Comfrey is comfrey. It's comfreying. That's basically it for the garden. So it looks way better than it did before, but the heat just got to it. So, oh, forgot about the beets. There's the beets. Can you do a flip on there? It's cool. So that's the garden, folks. Thanks for watching. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to Jerome B. Farm and Homestead. Take care.